these oil sticks, this is oil paint and sticks. They get a skin over it that you can just cut away. Let it cool a little bit, otherwise I'll dig right down to the top layer. So instead of using the stick directly on here, as I often would if it were cool, I'm going to, again, put it on paper towel. Larry, if you'd be so kind to reach behind you and hand me the cooking oil.
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm going to put it on a paper towel. And add a little cooking oil to it. We don't want a lot of oil into our encaustic, but this does help it glaze a bit. And then I'm just going to glaze a little bit with it.
No cooking oil. Any cooking oil?
Any cooking oil. Cheapest one you can find.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use my good olive oil.
Yeah.
I used to use liquid, which is a very nice painting medium, far more expensive, and it does the same thing. And that's one way you can incorporate oil into it. I know that's not exactly what you were asking about, but it's one way, again, that you can get a lovely glaze in here with a lot more control than trying to do it with encaustic glazing. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat it just a little bit so it can set a bit. Every layer to make sure that it'll be permanent. Now, if I wanted to rough some of this out before I heated it, it'd be very easy to do that. Smooth it in different ways.
So,
I think if I wanted to, I can go back as soon as this is cool a bit. I can go back with more ink, I can do more drawing, but what I'm going to do now is use the heat pen. So it's really hot. It's burning the old encaustic paint that's on it. Stick a little black on here. So I'll stick with the black. Now remember, when you pick up your pan, you pick it up on the side of the clothespin, because you'll notice all the purple paint on the wall. That's when people forget and they pinch the clothespin, and it all goes all over. That needs to be stirred. This is kind of a slate gray rather than a black. But by using this, you do not have to fuse again, so you will not lose your line. The heat in the pen automatically fuses it to the surface. I think batik pen, because they have pens for batik, that was probably... I should think so, as long as it's hot, absolutely. Or putting the wax on the fabric. And you see that painting back there with the brown and black?
Yeah.
That's all done, all that black is done with this heat tool, this heat pen. With the help of Victoria's Shoes and Design. She has a pair of shoes with wonderful soles of letting it, your imagination go, seeing a little work, and then try it. So I can just keep building over this. Now I would want to go in different directions, because I don't want to have just following what was already there. I want different shapes, different lines. But this is what, you're building up a lot of different surfaces. I'm going to try a different color. Now, underneath this, I had cut out the words, put them in there, covered this with dress pattern material, or paper, to mute it all down, to brown it down, and that's where these lines came from the dress pattern. And then after it was, here, come on in. And this had many, many, many other things underneath it that kept changing. But the very last thing I did was go in with repeat over and over with these lines, which I did with the heat gun, a heat pen. So that's in there. They're not going to pop off. Years ago, I tried just dropping the wax on, but after about a couple of years, it just popped. So this will stay on. That's why that heat source is so important to do it. And you can get these fine little things that will be permanent on there.
So you didn't, I could, if I didn't have anything, I could just lightly go over that and keep it somewhat like it is.
You know what I would suggest? Put it out in the sun.
Oh, yeah.
And watch it. Because that's not blowing it anywhere then. And that's what I do sometimes. You know, kind of scrape it all down to the bottom and let it burn down and then scrape.
Sure. Okay. I'm going to have to get a heat pen, I see, or a heat pen.
Yeah.